Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Busting Through Life Challenges with me, Diane Parker. Today, I have the amazing Eddy Smits with me, TEDx speaker, the parent-kid connector, professional clown, working in children's hospitals and now helping parents and guardians through the skills that he's learned. Eddy, thank you so much for coming along today and talking with me. I am so fascinated by this life and the challenges that possibly, because it is about life challenges, the challenges that you had in the first place to get into clown school would be interesting. I think listeners.
The thing was, I was much younger then, not as beautiful as I am now, but much younger. I studied as a teacher, and I taught for 8 months. But I missed like creativity and also the structure of schools and stuff. That wasn't me. So I knew, very soon that wasn't going to be my career. So I needed that creativity, I needed that stuff. And actually, and not many people know this, I started as a puppeteer.
Oh.
Yeah, and I did some puppet theater. I made my dolls, but that was all hobby and playing with stuff but it was nice to do. I even made three theater projects with puppeteering. But then I came in contact with clowning, and actually was in that period there was a famous Belgian clown. Well, it was in Belgium. And he had like a nice program on TV, but the thing, let's say the concept of clowning, intrigued me for a long time already. Like Charlie Chaplin movies,
Love them.
Stan Laurel and Harley, all these old kind of things. Sometimes without sound, right? I mean, without speech, and. So I got really intrigued and fascinated by it, and I started reading and I started looking up more of these things. It was before the internet, so it took me some time. I was going to the library and stuff, and hiring movies. But and then at some point I had something. I want to do this. This is me. This is. I really want to do this, and that's what I told my parents. I had a really nice job as a teacher in Belgium. And at some point, I told them, I want to be a clown. And I think that was a silence of about 10 seconds, which was very long. And they didn't really know how to answer that. And that's how my journey started. But I didn't know anything about it. So I had to learn as I went. Bought myself, and somebody made me a big pair of shoes. I learned how to paint face myself, dress up, all the things actually that you don't need to be a clown. So,
oh, right.
Yeah, that's how you learn, right?
What do you need to be a clown?
That's a really good question. So I started off with this real typical clown things with the colored clothes and the nose and the big shoes, and that went right. That went well, actually. So I did some kids parties and stuff, but I played games with them and laughed with them, and I always was good with kids, so that was good. And then I followed a few clown courses, and there I learned some really interesting things, and one of those was that it's not this all these things, these clothes and stuff. Actually, they don't matter. You have to do it without any of these props too. And one of the courses I did was a 2-week course. It was 2 weeks in a row, each day from in the morning to the evening. And the first day when I drove home, I was crying the whole time because I was clowning like for 5-6 years, and there I came and I knew nothing. I knew less than nothing. I knew nothing. What's the thing that I thought was clowning was. That was all wrong. That was just wrong. And so I cried the whole way. And I remember telling my ex-wife back then, I'm not going back. I mean, I was so demotivated because all my world tumbled down. I wanted to be a professional clown, and suddenly I saw everything tumbling down. But I did get up in the morning, of course, and I went, and it took me another 2 days to get over it. But then the ball dropped. Then I realized, okay, that's what it's all about. And that's the moment actually that I started to see the things in a whole different perspective. And that's also the period that somebody asked me to do hospital clowning. And I think if they had asked me before, probably I also would have said yes, but it wouldn't went the way that I went now. Because
isn't that amazing? You stepped into uncomfortable action.
Yeah, and that was the thing.
And pushed yourself through it, and look where it led you.
And it was really uncomfortable. And the thing was, in clowning, you need to learn to love the uncomfortable, because a clown, when he comes into trouble, he gets interesting for the audience, and the audience laugh with him only when he comes into trouble.
Yeah.
So you have to put yourself in trouble all the time. And that's in fact what it is. And if you can do that, then there's no more than that. Then you show vulnerability, then you show creativity, all these things come out. But they only come out when you are like, now I don't know what to do anymore. Then the clown comes out. And in the beginning it's that, but when you go more to professional level, you learn how to how do you say that? How to get that out people.
How to bring it out to people,
how to bring it out, how to let it happen. And that's things that's the next step.
Yeah.
But that's the step actually that you can just teach people, and that they can just use it. Yes. They don't need to go through the whole phase of clowning, because that will take them too long.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's like a professional, say, athlete who throws a ball at some point, and at some point you say, oh man, now I know how to throw it. He has thrown it 10,000 times. Yeah. Then he goes to somebody who has never thrown a ball, and he says, okay, now just throw it like this. And he just, after 10 times, he can throw it like that. That's the beauty of when you go through it.
Yes.
That won't make this person the athlete that the other one is. No. Far from it.
No.
But he can show something, so that and that's what it's all about then.
Yeah. So tell us more about getting into the hospital side of it. That's where that program led you to that invitation.
Yeah. So I got asked by somebody. They raised some money, and they saw this idea in the States. It didn't exist in Belgium, and they wanted to put clown in hospitals. And there were a lot of clowns that were interested. So, and they picked 2, and I was one of them. I don't know why, but
I'm sure you do. You've just got charisma that oozes, so I'm quite sure it was an attraction.
It's my deep love for children. I think that was the thing. I didn't even, for me, it wasn't about the clowning even. It was just about helping these children.
Yeah.
So and then the thing. So I wasn't clowning lots of years already. I had done this thing that being uncomfortable was, and then I went into hospital clowning, and I discovered I had to learn it all over again because that was the thing. The big difference about hospital clowning and let's say just performing as a clown is, as you perform as a clown, you have the attention of the audience, and you do things and you make them laugh, and you
can read
learn
them.
You learn to ding with balloons and magic and whatever. But in hospitals, it's not about you.
No.
So you come into the room and it's not about you. So you are used that you are the life of the party. You come inside, or you come on stage, and there you are. You're the party entertainers, right? And if you go with this mentality into rooms, which we did in the beginning because we didn't know how to do anything, you couldn't get connection, because now you didn't have a child that had a birthday party and, whoa, the clown is coming in, woo, that party stuff. No. You had a child that was afraid, that was in pain, sometimes that had cancer, so that had limited time. So these were of course, there were also children, we don't have to overreact. There were also children who had just a broken arm. I mean, we had everything. But even with those children, you had to find a way to connect. And where with normal children, the red nose was enough. And then these outer things, when they saw the colors and the big shoes and the nose, the clown is there. But in hospital, that didn't count. You could have worn 10 red noses, but you needed to connect with that child first before you could do anything. And that was the challenge in the beginning. And you know, in the beginning, we had a lot of children that were afraid of us, and then we had some, why are they afraid of us? We come to laugh with them and to help them a little bit out of their situation, and they are afraid of us. So we get around, and the first thing we did was we lost all face painting. We just saved the red nose. That was it. We lost the colorful clothes. In my case, I just wore a doctor's coat. So I watched Patch Adams. So I wore a doctor's coat and a red t-shirt, and my trousers was still a little bit too big, but just normal shoes. And that was already a big part of the deal. So it was very strange, because all these things that made us a clown, or that people think made you a clown, you have to lose it, you have to drop it. So that was the beauty of it, of course. And once we had that, I started real quick to turn things around. The other one had more trouble with it than me. And at some point, the thing, and that's also what I learned afterwards at new clowns, go in, do nothing. Do nothing. And that seems to be the most difficult thing there is.
Yeah.
Because even 10 seconds doing nothing seems like half a day in the beginning. And that was, in fact, the thing we did. We went total blank, neutral. No, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Oh, no, we went in, we did nothing, we observed, we looked, we listened, and we waited until something came from the kids. And no matter what it was. And so at that manner, we became experts in noticing very little things, from an eyebrow that switches to, and all these. In the beginning, we didn't see them, but the more we did it, the more we see these little things. It could be something in the room, it could be something the parents did or said, it could be something the kids said, and we learned to see these things. And at some point, we saw them very quickly. I know that my original visits before I got one laugh could be like 10, 15 minutes, but that's a little bit dying, right? If it takes you 10 to 15 minutes to make a kid laugh, at some point you start to think, oh, I don't have it. I can't make it laugh. But it went from 10 to 15 minutes to 10 to 15 seconds, because as soon as you see these things, but we didn't see it in the beginning. We just didn't see it. And afterwards, it's so funny, when we train new clowns, we saw the same thing. We saw it, and they just didn't see it, because they were so focused on themselves and thinking, what am I going to do to make this kid laugh?
Yeah.
They didn't see what was happening. So it's very interesting.
It is. Working with kids myself in the past, we've done things like, doing artwork, doing something completely different, to then try and get them to start talking about what's going on for them, so that we could support them in whatever they were trying to do. Or sometimes it was fishing, even, just staring or playing on the beach. I can remember once doing,
of course,
with these teenage lads doing sandcastles and things on the beach, just doing anything to connect with them, and then get them to open up. So how did that go on in the hospitals to, could you see the difference in the children as you were working with them, their parents, that led you on to want to do that? I know that at the moment you've put coaching aside a wee bit, but you do coach and guide people through that aspect. What did you?
I think the thing that I got most out of clowning was because I wrote things down in 2012, a little book about it, is that at some point it dawned to me that all the things that I did and what made kids happy, what made this connection work, if I started to use this in my life, I started to use the don't say anything before the other one says something, for example. It's such a stupid thing, but if you go to network events, I go in and I'll wait until something comes to me. Yeah. There are a few reasons. The first reason is then I know this person is interested in me. I don't have to look for others and go do my pitch in other places. It's not necessary. It's all a loss of energy. Just go in and go have a drink. And the ones who come to you, that are the ones that will connect with you. And all the other ones, they are not interesting because you can't do business with them. Yeah. Probably you don't have an interesting conversation. I mean, so all these things I started to do in my life, and they worked, and they helped me for my business, but also for my clowning, and they helped me in my relationships. They helped me with my own child, and that's in fact why what I want to bring into this world is, if you use these things, and they are really simple, they are, because that's the power of the clown. It keeps it simple. They are so powerful. And it's nothing new, Diane. It's nothing new. You find them in mindfulness. You find them in Greek philosophers, because of course I started to read about it. But doing this from this perspective, I know what I'm doing, because I know these things work. And if these things work with sick children, and if these things work with children, they have just a few weeks to live, then they will work with CEOs, and they will work with children in puberty, and they will work with 3-year-olds. The challenge is, of course, to explain this to other people. Why would the things that a hospital clown does in the hospital, why would this be interesting for my leadership, my parenting, my life? And that's the challenge I'm facing now. And I also faced that 10 years ago, and I think then I wasn't strong enough to go through with it, and I think my experience wasn't strong enough. I wasn't strong enough as a person then to get this out. But I think I am now. And so that's what I'm going for. And that's also what I used in my coaching. Actually, I coached and still coach just the same way as a hospital clown does. I listen, and at some point I see something. I narrow in on that, and I ask, okay, tell me something more than that, about that. And 99% out of the times, it's spot on. Yeah. But of course, I visited more than 10,000 children. So again, each eyebrow that lists itself, I know what it is, and I immediately pick on it.
You're so in tune, and you're actively listening for those little cues that people always give us when we're working with somebody coaching wise, and just listening to their story and knowing those key points that you know, right, that's what we need to have a little look at there. Even if it doesn't lead somewhere, you know that you need to ask a little bit more about that. That's sorry.
No, go.
I was just going to say, it's totally amazing. You know, the fact that you've been able to go in, and as much as you've got so much out of it learning wise, that you've been able to reach and put a smile on those children's faces at times that are so difficult for them and their parents and guardians.
Yeah, it's true. But the thing that I learned from children is that they have so much to teach us. They have so much that they can teach us. And the fact that we block them and that we push our opinion on them, and with every good reason we have, and it's well intended. So if there's something I learned from that is listen to them, let them do things, let them fail. You know, it's the power of the clown is he knows how to fail. He has to fail, because otherwise he's not strong enough. If you can put that in the world of children, that idea, let them fail, please let them fail, let them fall. Yeah, they might break an arm. Yeah, could be. But what are you gonna do? Go like this the whole way when they go to the playground.
Yeah, that seems to be the way society is going at the minute, isn't it?
It is.
Everything is just, wrapped up in
bubble paper.
Almost like bubble wrap, and yet, I remember that they had started bringing in health and safety when my kids were at school, and one of them wanted to get fitter, and I said, we want to cycle to school. Where do you put your bikes here? Oh, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do any cycling on the roads until they're 10 and had their cycling proficiency test. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like I was letting him do it on his own. I was going to be with him. And then he says, oh, it's gone a bit silly now. He says they're not even allowed to climb trees anymore in case they fall out of the tree and break their arm. I mean, the trees weren't that big either, but it's like, there's no risk taking. So where are they going to learn that in life? To just step outside of their comfort zone to get to places like, you've got, and I know for sure I've got, and help other people in that process. So what's next for you now, Eddie? Where are you up to? So we finished with the hospital clowning, and you got all that, that learning.
Yeah.
And
so, sorry?
You had a book out?
It's not out yet. So I had one in 2012, but unfortunately the publisher went bankrupt. But again, it's not such a big deal. I'm writing another one, but that's about how to follow your dreams and get your dreams into reality. Something that I did.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. What I really want to do is want to get the things out of there. So I want to do public speaking. I want to get things out of there. I want to explain this to people. Why? That this power that a clown has that can make every child laugh, whatever it is. If it, sorry for the rudeness, but if it dies tomorrow, you can make it laugh, and that's the power. And it's not only for the child, it's for the whole family. It's for, the family's life changes. I saw parents that hadn't seen their child laugh for weeks, and then suddenly you come in, and then after a few minutes it starts to laugh. These parents, you can't give them a greater gift than that, whatever afterwards happens with this child. And that was what the first book was about. If you can do that, there must be something with that you can do for people's lives, not only for children, for everybody actually. Of course, my thing is children. I want to empower children because that's my thing.
Yeah.
And I did that through children's theater, and that was great. But now I have something. Okay, you can do this with children. You have them you have them that you can learn them something, or that they can empower them. And then what? They come home and they tell this wonderful story to their parents, and they say, yeah. Go sit down, go play with your iPad. And it's gone. So I think that I could better focus on teachers, on parents, on educators to teach them these skills, and they will embody this to children. So it's funny, but if I want to do good and empower children in this world, I need to empower parents, teachers, educators, everybody who works with children.
Yeah, and it's getting to for parents and guardians to mean what they say to children as well. There's an awful lot. I'll see you in about half an hour, and then an hour's gone because you're involved with what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that child's feeling neglected because you haven't taken that time.
Yeah, and that's it.
And that builds up later on when they're going out on the town, and they just have this.
It is, and it's so simple, but and I do realize, I have this journey of like now, how many years? 22 or something, that I think of this, and I know that it's something that most people don't grasp very soon. They need time also. But if I don't try, and if I don't inspire and go out and tell them and whatever, nobody will see it. And what's I think it's funny. I still have contact with a lot of clowns, of course, in the organization that I worked for. And there are some clowns, they are, well, it's not I don't like to say better, because there's no better in clowns, but still, they are better clowns than I was then. But the thing is, they can't bring this to the real world. that's the problem. And I think I can.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's really what I'm interviewing these clowns now, by the way. And they all say the same, and it's all the same basics.
Yes.
But it's just, for me, it's just a case of letting people see these
Right.
interviews and stuff.
So you're coaching these clowns now on how to do that for themselves?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I think I should first coach them to make this statement that they can, what they do in hospitals, and they are doing it. They are doing it.
Yeah.
Without knowing
realizing
it,
sometimes you do things, don't you? You don't realize you are doing them. Because it's second nature to you, isn't it?
Yeah. But they start to realize that what they are doing, it's clowning. They are clowning in their lives for their children. When they go to buy a bread with a baker, they are clowning, and everybody loves it. But they don't realize that they are clowning because they need their red nose. They still think they need their red nose. And a very funny story was, it's like maybe 6-7 years ago. It's called MediClowns, the organization, and we wanted to have something something special that people outside could, because there are different organizations and hospitals at the meantime, but that people immediately would know, oh, but that's a MediClown, you know. And I had the idea, why don't we put on yellow noses instead of red noses, right?
Right.
No. So yeah. I couldn't bring them on there that it's not about, still it's not about them. Yeah, but then they're not going to see us as clowns, and the clown has a red nose, and it was not done. That was that idea. No. It's Eddie, it's very creative, your idea, but we're not gonna do that. That's a bridge too far. So even clowns don't see that it doesn't matter which color your nose is. Go with a black nose, a green nose. It doesn't, no nose. It doesn't matter. The clown comes from behind the nose.
Yeah.
But that was funny. See, so even real clowns don't grasp it sometimes.
Yeah. They're still in process of that, aren't they? By the sounds of it.
Yeah. But that made me realize, of course, how hard it is, if it's already that hard with clowns, or how it is to tell it to normal people. But that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to I'm doing some, I call it the principles of a hospital clown, and each principle I try to give just examples and tips what they can do and what this principle means or can mean. I think that's the way to go. I mean,
it sounds perfect. And I mean, I know that when you told me, gosh, it must have been about a year ago that you told me that after a couple of months of getting to know you, that you dropped into conversation that you were a clown. And I'm like, excuse me, you were what now? No, it's just so out there. But you know, Eddie, it's been absolutely wonderful hearing about your story today, and I thank you so much for coming. If somebody would like to get in touch with you because they're struggling to communicate with their child, or whether that's a parent, teacher, or guardian, how do they do that? How do they get in touch with you, Eddie?
I think LinkedIn is the most easier thing. Just type my name in on LinkedIn, and that's the easiest way. Right,
that's great. And there's a new book on the way out.
Yes, there is. The title is not sure yet, so I'm not good. I can't reveal the title yet.
Yeah. That's another conversation.
That's another conversation. But it is about realizing your dream. That's what it's about. So
yeah. Eddie, again, thank you so much. And the TEDx talk will be out soon too.
I hope. I've been waiting for 3 months now. Really testing my patience. But I've heard that sometimes it can take up to 5-6 months. So it will come out.
If everybody wants to keep an eye on my Facebook page as well, I'll make sure that there's a big banner on to let everybody know that that's out. Eddie, thank you for your time today. And if anybody would like to get in touch with myself, if you've got any challenges that you're facing in life, whether that is that you're struggling with some form of grief or loss, I'm here to help you, and you can get in touch with me at diane@lifeafterlossiom.com, or drop a comment in the feed below this video. Thank you again, Eddie, and I'll see you soon.
My pleasure. Bye.
Bye-bye.